Hello, MissDeadlyRed here, and today I'm going to be talking about hair. Not specifically just mine, but I get asked a lot what my hair care routine is, and unfortunately there's not a massive amount of information I can give you about my hair because I try to do as little as possible to it. Pretty much I'll start off with how often I wash it. I only try to wash it about twice a week because I find that firstly it doesn't really need any more than that. The more you wash it, the more you'll need to wash it. It's a stupid routine, but basically if you wash your hair every day, the chances are you're going to need to, purely and simply because your hair will go really greasy because it's trying to overstimulate. Well, it's basically trying to overcompensate by stimulating too much oil because it's saying you're washing all the oil out of my hair. Please, stop this. I'm going to end up trying to overcompensate by putting a shit ton more oil in it, and it will inevitably, it means that your hair is basically crying out, pretty much. You'll notice that if you wash your hair around about twice a week, when you first do it, obviously it's going to be really greasy. If you do have greasy hair, then it's going to feel really greasy and kind of a little bit gross. But after you've got into a routine of only washing it a couple of times a week, it will make a big difference to the quality of your hair because it won't have to it will get a bit of a break basically because it's not under so much stress. Also, the products I use on my hair, I don't have a specific routine of I need to use this product at this time, I need to be using like a leave-in conditioner at certain days or whatever. Because of, again, the fact that I do so little to my hair. I tend to just shampoo it a couple of times when I'm in the shower to make sure that all of the crap that's in my hair, especially with the amount of hairspray I use for shoots and whatnot, is out of my hair, and then I'll use a lot of conditioner and run it through the ends of my hair, and then instead of brushing my hair when I'm in the shower or when I've got out of the shower, I'll basically just run my fingers through it because it's much less abrasive than using something like a brush. And it's much nicer on your hair. Also, when I put my hair up in like a little towel turban kind of situation, I try not to rub it too much. I tend to just leave it up in the towel for about half an hour, so it can kind of get out the worst of the moisture, and then once all that's gone, or the worst of it is gone, I'll just try and put my hair up and just leave it. I won't blow dry it or anything like that because it just creates more, it's more hassle than it's worth really, because firstly, if you blow dry your hair, especially if you brush it through and blow dry it, it's going to be so much harder to style because once your hair is wet, it's basically pliable, and then once you've dried it, it's not as pliable. So if you've brushed it and dried it, it will basically remember that style, and it will be very difficult to curl it the next day. Admittedly, if you want to straighten your hair every day, it's better to do it with something like a blow dryer rather than a set of straighteners. But if you're going to be using, if you're going to be basically trying to hairdry it and then curl it, then it's just, again, it's more hassle than it's worth. It will give you a better natural look if you try and curl it the next day if you've just left it on its own. Or if you basically put it in plaits or something like that, it can kind of give you, for instance, with my hair, I've had it in plaits for the last couple of days. If you put it in something like plaits and then you want to curl it the next day, it'll be easier to curl because it's already in a basic style. But it's not it will remember the style because it's been set in it, but it's very weird. Hair is so weird. It will remember the style because it's been set in it, but it will be easier to curl because it's already going on the natural flow of your hair. Obviously, if you want to straighten it, it might be a bit more of a challenge because it's already set into a certain style. Also, it depends on obviously the type of hair you have. Going off on a tangent, I would recommend for such as damaged hair to use things like coconut oil because it's as natural as possible. It's really nice for your hair, and it doesn't have too much crap in it. I mean, obviously it's just literally coconut oil, so it just if you put it on the ends of your hair, it will really smooth out those kind of split ends, and it will hydrate the part of your hair that's essentially dead, because as soon as it's come out of your head, it's dead, pretty much. Like, well, towards the end anyway, like towards here. This is why this bit's in always better nick than this bit, because this bit's live for too long kind of thing. Also, some things that I would maybe recommend to people that are experiencing really damaged hair and they're looking for products that are trying to, like, basically give it a bit of a boost and kind of try and get it a little bit back to normal. There's a treatment on the market that some hairdressers are doing. Of course, you have to look it up. But it's known as Olaplex. I had it done on my hair and I found that it made my hair feel fantastic. It felt absolutely amazing. It was so soft and it felt so healthy. It really got like some of its life back and really got a good bounce back. I would definitely recommend doing it. A friend of mine has just done it as well on my recommendation. She swears by it. She thinks it's amazing. There are a couple of places that will do it. There's one specific place in the south of England, in Portsmouth, known as Tony Wood. They're great hairdressers, brilliant place, and they did the Olaplex treatment on me and I found it was amazing and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. Also, if you can't quite afford something like going to the hairdressers, there's ones that you can do at home. There's ones that you can get from such as Lush, which are the hot oil treatments. If you're looking for just like a one-off treatment to just leave in your hair and then not have to do it regularly, like something like a leave-in conditioner or anything like that, the hot oil treatments are pretty good. Especially there's one that's called Damaged, which again I've had friends that have used it and they said that they think it really works, and it lasts for quite a long time and it really makes your hair feel nourished and it's kind of like the Nutrice advert. It's like nutrition needs nourished, but with Lush. But yeah, I've known them to kind of really think that it's really good for their hair and they feel a hell of a lot better after they've used it. It's really simple. It takes like 20 minutes, and I'll leave all the kind of product lists down below. I'm not quite sure whereabouts Lush is around, as in I don't really know how many different places it's in. I know for a fact it's in Britain, but I'm not quite sure what other countries it goes to and about shipping or anything like that. So obviously that will have to, individuals will have to check that and kind of see what applies to them. But I'll leave all the links and see who can get it and who can't. I'm sorry if you can't, but it's just one of those things. Also, I would recommend to anyone that kind of has got really damaged hair to try and basically, I really urge you to try and leave it alone. Try to put as little heat on it as you physically can. For instance, with my hair, I swear by heated rollers. I don't use any kind of curling tongs or straighteners. I think I've straightened my hair probably twice in the last year, and those were for shoots or for, I think it was literally just to see how long my hair is, pretty much with being straight. But it's so damaging on your hair. It puts your hair through so much stress. A lot of straighteners go up to something stupid like 240 degrees nowadays, and you have to, well, Celsius, and the way that you have to bear in mind that that's over double boiling point. So, well, boiling point for water obviously, but that's a hell of a lot to put on your hair, and it's no wonder that it's so damaging if you do it for a length of time. And so the less heat you can put on it, the better. For something like curling your hair with heated rollers, I would definitely say that that's the best bet, because most heated rollers are plastic, and so obviously they can never go too hot, otherwise it will melt the plastic. And that's the best way to think about it. But I tend to use things like heated rollers, and I don't tend to keep them in that long. I tend to keep them in for about an hour. Most of the time they've gone cool by then anyway, but then as soon as I've taken them out, for instance, if I really want to set my hair, I'll spray my hair, put a heated roller in, leave it, and then when I take it out, I'll put it in a pin curl. I'll put a link to how to do pin curls if you're not quite sure how to do them underneath. And I'll do that the night before I'm going to something like a shoot, and then put it all in pin curls and then put like a bandana over the top of it, sleep in it, and then the next day when I'm going to the shoot, I'll take out my hair and kind of I can then style it because it's set in that kind of style, and it's also a much more natural looking kind of curl, because I know that when I've curled my hair in the past when I was younger with things like heated tongs and straighteners and things, it's always kind of looked a bit overdone. It looks too perfect and it doesn't look quite natural, and that's what I really love about rollers, that they just look really natural and they give a really kind of feminine bouncy look, and I love that. But that's, again, my personal preference. I mean, how I've done my hair today is that I washed it about 2 days ago, and then I put it in plaits, and I haven't taken out the plaits because I've been doing things like admin work and all my different little bits, and so I've not needed to take it out. If you're at home and you're not going out, or you're not going out anywhere special, and it's not for any particular reason, then I would definitely recommend to try and do as little with your hair as possible. Maybe put it back in a very loose ponytail so it just stays out of your way, because the less you're playing with it, the better it's going to be, because just literally by playing with it constantly is going to create split ends, because the more you touch your hair, the more it's going to stimulate, firstly, the natural oils in your hair, so it's probably going to make it look greasy, especially if you're playing around with the top of your head, but also with the bottom of your head, it will literally just create small amounts of split ends. I mean, I do it as well. I'm constantly touching my hair, so that's why when I'm around the house I have to zip it up, because I know what I'm like. It's very, very easy to just kind of be sat there picking at your hair, and I see people do it all the time, and it's not good. It's not good at all. But yeah, I hope that this video helped in some small way, and if there's any other questions, I hope you guys send me them. So thank you very much for watching this video. I'm sorry that I'm so awkward in all of my videos, but hopefully one day that will change. Thank you very much, and I've been MissDeadlyRed, and I still am, and thank you. Bye!